Alright, what's up guys? I am back. We got part 2 of, well actually I'm not even going to make it a part 2, it's just going to be Android 21 Primer number 5. This one is also going to be dealing with patch changes, but this time more aimed at the system mechanic side of things and kind of what did the system mechanic change mean for this character in particular. So yeah, let's go into it. So first, I want to highlight EX Ball, right? So, one of the system mechanic changes that they made is that they made it so meter penalty is only based on time instead of move-based starter, meaning that you're no longer locked out of meter gain for the rest of your combo whenever you burn an EX move, meaning that combos involving EX Ball are much more valuable, especially with 3 steals. So, for those of you who did not know, when you had 4 steals, before the patch, right? Even before the patch, you could do combos like this, where you do dash super jump, get a conversion, right? Big damage, right? So combos like that are definitely way more worth it now because, like I said, you don't get locked out of meter gain anymore. So the combo will essentially pay for itself, the EX Ball. So where it does change is for 3 steal EX Ball, because with 3 steal EX Ball, you actually can't do the conversion that I just did. Not possible because you can't get close enough, as you can see, right? But what you can do is change your combo to involve some of the new things that you got. So you can do combos like this, and as you can see, I start gaining meter again after the assist extension, right? Doing 6k damage here. So stuff like this is way more valuable. I believe 3 is the only that it works with. I don't think 2 is enough. Yeah, I don't believe that 2 is enough. But for 3 in particular, or even if you feel like you're not comfortable, doing the dash super jump conversion, because it can be a little tight in situations. This is a really good alternative. You can just burn this instead, and like I said, you don't have to sacrifice your meter gain anymore, which means, once again, you need to check out my EX Ball video. I'll be putting that down in the description. It's a super helpful video involving a ton of routes and applications for EX Ball, which got buffed this patch for some reason, so make sure you guys check that out. Okay, next change. I think I'm gonna do the key blast change. Actually, this is interesting stuff. So, I actually don't know if they. Yeah. So, they have made it so when someone super dashes your key blast, when someone super dashes your key blast, you can now cancel into super dash or reflect. This is really big for a key blaster like her, because, as you know, especially because 5S got buffed, we're going to be throwing this a lot in neutral, and this means that you don't have to rely on frame 4 and vulnerability on anything. You can just kind of do it, right? And you don't really have to worry that much about what's going to happen afterwards, because you have reflect. You have a frame 1 option out of this, meaning that you don't need level 3 in order to enter opponent super dash. This is really big. So you do want to make sure you don't miss your window, because that can happen. If you miss your window, then you're gonna get cooked either way, but it is possible to cancel into reflect now, or super dash. I don't recommend canceling into super dash in situations like this, but you can cancel into reflect and super dash on key blast being super dash. So it is pretty cool. I didn't think that they were gonna make this change. I think here I'm like actually too close. Yeah, so you do need to mind your distance from your opponent when you do so. So this makes our long range game even better with the addition of, now we have frame 4 and vulnerability on command grab as well. So like, we have so many ways to just stop opponents from trying to cheat neutral on this. So pretty cool change. Not the biggest in the world, but definitely one that is cool. Okay, next we're going to talk about raw tag, the new raw tag mechanic. So in case you were not aware. Now, anytime you do a special move and it makes contact with your opponent, you can cancel into raw tag, like so. Okay, now, what does this mean? When you raw tag into your next character, you have a forced 10 frames of recovery. So as you can see here, I will do dive into tag into Frieza. You can see I'm minus 10 because I'm forced into 10 frames of recovery. When I land, I am still actionable. I'm still actionable before I land though. So if I want to do stuff like this, I can still go forward, right? I can still air dash. I still have my air resources that I had before, right? So we can use this to kind of, you can use it to like cheese your opponents and stuff like that if you really want to. But the main application is kind of in vanish combos, and I'll show that in a second. Now what I will say is something that's very disappointing is it seems like they hard-coded EX Ball to not really work that well with this mechanic. Like they didn't want it to be insane. So it does disappear quicker. It does disappear quicker when you do this raw tag. So unfortunately, you're still minus 10. We can't use EX Ball and then tag for like a super fucked up mix up or anything like that. So keep that in mind. It's not that good, unfortunately. I wish it were, but it's not. But we will talk about vanish conversions. It changes vanish conversions a lot because a lot of you may know that when you were doing vanish conversions with her before, you would have to kind of choose, right? Whoops, sorry. So if you were here, right? If you were here, then you would have to either choose one of two things: either spend an assist to get an SKD in the corner, or just command grab them and throw them back mid-screen, right? To maintain your knockdown. You don't want to take soft knockdowns in this game, trust me. So those are like kind of your two best alternatives. Well, now we have more options because the raw tag mechanic allows for you to tag into your teammate, and they can take the SKD. So in this example, so I'm using 214M and I'm tagging into Frieza, who can now get an SKD into the setup that I need, right? That is huge, absolutely huge. This makes your vanish conversions a ton better in a lot of situations because now you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose whether the knockdown is good, or you have good screen positioning. You can take both. All you have to do is just tag in. And there's a ton of characters in the game that have SKD anywhere now, so like I can do it with Bardock as well, as you can see here. Right. So getting an SKD, big, really big. Don't have to choose anymore. It allows you to rotate your characters more effectively, which is the name of Dragon Ball FighterZ, is keeping those characters rotated and healthy using those system mechanics. So pretty big change. Really like that. Yeah, I don't have any complaints about that. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is oh, I'm sorry. The next thing we're going to talk about is the new moon jump mechanic. So they've made it so you can moon jump, or holding S rather, gives you super jump properties automatically. See, I don't have to press down, right? So like this is a super jump, right? Now I can just hold S and press up, and that gives me a super jump. What does this mean? This means you can moon jump easier as well, because all you have to do is hold S and dash jump, and you will get a moon jump, right? And I know a lot of you were concerned about some of the tech that I posted in the past because you're like, oh, I'm not really that consistent at moon jumping, but this should help you a lot. The only issue with this is there's two things. One, you cannot turn this macro off, which is like really weird. You can't turn this macro off. And two, you cannot dash macro while you have super jump macro on, right? So if I'm holding S and I try to IED, I don't get an IED. You cannot dash macro while you're holding S, right? Okay, so those are the two things. But it gives us some really big stuff. First of all, one of the easiest ways to win neutral in this game with 21 was doing this, where you 2S and then you moon jump at your opponent. This is now even easier. Now, why is this a good way to play neutral? It's because you can call your sister, right? and this just takes a ton of space from your opponent, especially if you're playing like beams or anything like that. Any type of neutral assist, this just covers a ton of ground, right, and allows you to react. So this is really, really good. And now it's even easier because you can literally press 2S and hold the S button, and then input, you can buffer the dash as soon as she recovers to get a moon jump, right? This is exactly what I'm doing. Now I used to do this with the old method. I used to do the HS method, but this is just too easy to not use. So definitely want to see you guys abusing that. Do be careful though, because 2S recovers so quickly that you can air dash too early, like this, right? Meaning that you will not get a moon jump, you'll just get an air dash forward, and you'll look kind of silly, and it'll probably mess up your movement. So do be careful. 2S is just that good, where she recovers so fast that becomes a problem. So just wait till you see her touch the ground, and then go ahead and input that dash and go forth and just oppress your opponent in neutral, right? Okay, another moon jump application. There was some Oki that I came up with last season. It was kind of early in last season, where you command grab your opponent and then you moon jump after them and call assist for 50-50, right? Okay, now this is even easier because, like I said, you can now just hold S. You don't have to command grab and then input. You know, you don't have to hold L to try to do the moon jump shortcut or anything anymore. All you have to do is 2 through 6S, keep holding S, go ahead and dash jump 50-50. Now this does not work with every single assist in the game. It turns out that Frieza assist is pretty much the best assist in the game for this, which is good for me because I play Frieza. But there are a lot of other assists that it works for. You just kind of have to look for your own timing with your team. And some assists are good for it. So for example, like beam, like a lot of people are playing beam. So what they can do is they can do the same setup and they can call beam, which will cover in place and back tech. But if they up tech, you're gonna have to cover that yourself, meaning that you're gonna have to, you know, press JM or JL to cover them up teching, which is fine. Like that's totally fine for you to be able to do. It just so happens that, you know, Frieza assist is one of the few assists in the game that can cover everything at once. So this type of stuff is super good for teams like mine. I legit just get 50-50 off of command grab, which is big. So the dash macro or the new super jump macro makes stuff like that much easier. So I would definitely recommend experimenting and kind of seeing what you can do with your team. Okay. Alright, the last thing we're going to be talking about is so the super jump change actually made it so you can do her moon jump rejumps more easily. It is still a little awkward on certain controllers, like depending on the way that you hold your controller, what controller you're playing. But long story short, since you can now hold S and dash jump to get a moon jump, you can do her super jump rejump, meaning that you can link falling JH into moon jump JM to continue combos. Much more easier. Before, it wasn't really that applicable because it's just too hard to do. I would say it was like too droppable, if that makes sense. And I'm actually like just destroying myself trying to. Right, so this right here, right? So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm linking. You want to actually do delay. You want to really delay the JH, and then you want to moon jump JM to finish out the combo, right? So what I'm doing here, so what you want to do this, if you really want to do this combo, is you have to press JM. There's no air dash involved for this, by the way. You do super dash, delay super dash, JM, JH, and then that's while you're transitioning from the JM to the JH is when you want to start holding S, and then you want to dash jump, you know, the same buffer dashes you would do for a normal rejump. And that will give you a super a moon jump, which you can link a JM afterwards. Now what I'm doing is I'm using HS instead of S, just because S is a little awkward for me to press in succession like this, so I'm using HS instead. I'm just like not delaying my super dash enough here, but you can do it with HS, but do keep in mind that you have to release. So when you hit the JM, you're gonna need to release your HS so you can actually press JH again, because you're not going to be able to press it. You're not going to be able to press H if you still have your HS held down. So you want to release it the moment you hit the moment you make contact with that JM. You want to release your HS button if you're using HS, because it will stop you. It will stop you from doing JH, but if you're just using S, it will not stop you. And one more note, you do have to delay the JH after the JM makes contact, which makes this combo still kind of finicky. I'm not gonna lie, it is easier now, but not really something I'm gonna call a BNB. not really something I'm gonna call a BNB. It's still very droppable, even though it is easier to do. But yeah, that is something that you can do now. Big implications on you know, the super jump macro for her. She gets a ton of stuff now. Unfortunately, they don't give they aren't giving actually, you know what, I think I'll add in one more thing, because why not, right? So this is actually the last thing I want to go over is, so now they've made it so any move that leaves you airborne is now super jump installed, meaning that if I want to block string my opponent and I have Sonic Warp, I actually don't even have to do it. It's really easy for me to just kind of go crazy, right? So now you don't have to think about I need to call Bardock instead, right? How do you do this? All you need to do is, when you Sonic Warp, either hold up forward or up back. So here I'm holding up forward, here I'm holding up back, and that'll let you get float properties after Sonic Warp, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, meaning that you can super mix your opponents as long as you have the finesse. As long as you have the finesse, you can definitely smoke him. As long as you don't, you know, mistime your assist calls like I am. But either way, like, you guys can kind of see the concept here, and I hope you understand. I hope you understand what this means, right? That means we're mixing even harder than we did before, and now your opponent has to pay even more attention to those steals that you have, or else they risk getting ultra cooked. Getting ultra cooked by Sonic Warp. Sonic Warp is the stock in Sonic Warp definitely went up with the patch, and apparently my stock in quarter circles has not gone up, which is fine. But either way, this lets you, especially if you're running higher blocks and assists, the amount of stuff that you can do is pretty messed up. Just make sure you hold that up forward or up back button after your Sonic Warp goes off. So that is pretty much all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the new changes, and I better see some clips of y'all going crazy and hitting people with stuff like this, because I know that people are going to be pretty tight whenever when I get my hands on them and I have that Sonic Warp available. People are not going to be having a good time. So once again, thank you guys for the support and everything. Be sure to leave a like and comment, you know, all that good stuff. Trying to get a little bit bigger on YouTube, and I'm also moving into my own place on Tuesday. So if you want to drop by the stream and, you know, drop $1 or $2 to help me move, I would appreciate it, but don't feel like you have to. And yeah, thank you to the YouTube community, and we'll be back at some point. I don't know when the next primer is going to be. I think it'll be a decent amount of time after I actually after I find the next thing that I want to do a video on, right? I want to play some matches before. I want to play a lot of matches before I you know, do the next primer. So just so I have some data. So that is it from me, people. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.